The whole weekend, Donald Trump was having like a nervous breakdown, whining about losing all of these court cases. I mean, it was post, like furious panic, stream of conscious, psychotic breakdown stuff. I mean, just who behaves like this? Imagine what our adversaries abroad, like President Xi, and our enemies abroad, like Vladimir Putin. Just think about someone who is so emotional and sensitive and can't even collect their thoughts and just has to word vomit, spew this stuff in all caps. It's like, dude, you are a loser. Other than the United States Supreme Court, which bailed you out in the 14th Amendment Section 3 case and created a doctrine called absolute immunity, you lost to E. Jean Carroll. You lost to New York Attorney General Letitia James in the fraudulent business practices case. You lost the criminal case before Justice Merchan when Alvin Bragg defeated you and you were convicted on 34 separate felony counts. Had the Supreme Court not intervened, your buddies, your right-wing Federalist Society, corrupt, bribe-ridden Clarence Thomas-like people on there, you would have lost those cases. This is what Trump's posting. I'm not going to read all of this stuff. And by the way, you know my policy now. I don't show Trump videos or audio on my videos. I'm going to read some of these posts so you see how absolutely psychotic and deranged they are. But I'm not going to read all of them because they're just that deranged. But I'm going to fact check it. Trump goes, DA Alvin Bragg never wanted to bring this lawless case against me. He was furious at the way it was handled and especially angry at Mark Pomerantz for his behavior and what he did. Ultimately, the Biden-Harris DOJ forced Bragg to concoct anything to embarrass Trump. But it was even more so what the corrupt and totally conflicted political hack judge did and is doing on this sham trial. I even have still an unconstitutional gag order where I am not allowed to speak about the judge's highly disqualifying conflicts of interest. Virtually every legal scholar and pundit says there is zero case against me. The judge fabricated the facts and the law, no different than the other New York judicial and prosecutorial witch hunts. That's why businesses are fleeing New York, taking with them millions of jobs and billions of dollars of taxes. Should I go in? We could have fun with this. Should I go in reverse order? I'm going to go in reverse order. Let's start with businesses fleeing. Well, you still are in New York, number one. Number two, you sent Barron to a school in New York, NYU, to study business at a New York business school. So maybe we start with that in New York. You're talking about a gag order. It's clearly constitutional. The United States Supreme Court, even your buddies, they rejected your petitions and people who filed on your behalf petitions to remove that gag order. So even the corrupt Supreme Court thinks that the gag order is okay. You've also lost every other appeal you filed about that gag order. Also, it doesn't really seem to be limiting what you're saying as you call the judge a conflicted political hack and then go on to defame Justice Merchan and say that he was the one who invented facts and fabricated facts. So Justice Merchan fabricated you having 3 seconds with Stormy Daniels and then covering it up by falsifying business records with Michael Cohen. And that was the judge did that. Merchan made that all up, you psychotic idiot. I mean, is that what you're saying? How do people buy this stuff? The judge fabricated it all. Despite all of the actual documents and photographs and witness testimony, and even the testimony, by the way, Trump's argument to dismiss it was not, was at least his main argument was not, this did not happen. Trump's argument was that, whoa, the Supreme Court's absolute immunity to presidents somehow applies to hush money payment, fabrication of business records before Donald Trump was in office. You're arguing absolute immunity. There was weeks of trial testimony where a jury, a unanimous jury, who your own lawyers had the opportunity to be involved in what's called the voir dire, the jury selection process. They picked the jury too with the prosecution team. Unanimous verdict against you. Same thing in the E. Jean Carroll case. 2 federal cases, unanimous verdicts against you. In the case that was prosecuted by the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, against you, there, Justice Engoron, the judge, found that you were responsible for engaging in business fraud. And there was a months-long trial there where the testimony was adduced. And we have all of the transcripts, the documents. You're saying, but everybody's fabricating everything. The documents are fake. This is fake. And then you go, Alvin Bragg never wanted to bring the case, but he was forced to by the DOJ. What does that even mean? The DOJ has nothing to do with Alvin Bragg's prosecution. Oh, it's Jack Smith. It's just, you're speaking to people whose minds you've poisoned and Fox poisoned that are so unknowledgeable about these facts that they somehow, it was the DOJ who brought the New York case against you. Like literally the opposite of what happened. There's more posts like this. This is his other post. And by the way, this is at 5:03 a.m. Like he's posting this at all hours of the day. The next one. There has never been a president who was so evilly and illegally treated as I. Corrupt Democratic judges and prosecutors have gone against the political opponent of a president, me, at the levels of injustice never seen before. Corrupt judges are judges so blinded by their hatred of me and my political ideology to make America great again, are making a mockery of the United States judicial system. Deranged Jack Smith, the evil and sinister prosecutor appointed by crooked Joe Biden to take me down, was found to be illegally appointed by corrupt DOJ and FBI. You want to know what weaponization is? The judge who let's talk about that last point. You want to talk about weaponization? How about Judge Cannon, who you appointed after losing the election in 2020 while you were a lame duck, and you appointed Cannon, who was not qualified for that position at all? How about the fact that she ruled that special counsels don't exist? They're unconstitutional as it relates to Donald Trump, but special counsels do exist as it relates to your political opponent, Hunter Biden, who didn't get immunity. There was no ruling by Hunter Biden's judge, who, by the way, you appointed as well, the one in California, or even the one in Delaware. There was no finding that special counsels didn't exist, even though Hunter Biden was prosecuted by a special counsel. So he was convicted, unlike you. You got the Supreme Court to invent doctrines that absolute immunity and all of these things. And now you're there whining. Dude, shut up. You are the president-elect. Like, can you at least operate with a modicum of dignity and acting like an adult? Like one of the things that I just don't understand is this behavior is something that if our 4th grade or 3rd grade kid behaved, we would say, oh, what an awful child. What's going on? This is not how you behave. This is not how adults act. Think about if your boss or someone you worked with, think of someone in a social club you were with, someone in a nonprofit that you're with, just wrote like this. If I got an email like this from someone or someone talked like this, I'd be like, yo, I'm like, yo, this person's crazy. There's a crazy person over here. And this is who we're supposed to normalize this behavior. This is sickening and disgusting stuff. And we need to just start talking about it, not even from a political lens, but just like a normal lens. What are we looking at? There's more you get the point. There's like 10 of these. I never falsified business records. It's a fake made up charge by the corrupt DOJ. No case against me. No. That's why people are fleeing. This is unfair. Every legal scholar and pundit, every one of them, including highly respected and sadly past recent David Rivkin, all think this is unlawful. It's a rigged charade. This judge is rigged. That's rigged. This person fabricated it. That person fabricated. So he goes on rant, like 10 of these posts about his court cases and losing court cases. And then he goes to this one right here, where he goes, members of Congress are getting to work on one powerful bill, just one, that will bring our country back. Pause. They couldn't even barely elect their speaker. So they're going to do one bill that has everything. I thought the Republicans were against that concept, but okay, let me go on and read and make it greater than ever. We must secure our border. Pause there. You mean you killed the bipartisan border deal. You killed that bill that President Biden wanted to pass. So now you're going to link that with Unleash American Energy. There's America's energy independent right now. It was not energy independent on Trump administration one. There's more oil drilling now under Biden than there was under you. More oil output, more oil sales than under you by significant margins. And Biden focuses on climate change as well, which you're not going to. And by the way, the oil and gas companies are all saying that there really isn't that more supply that's out there. Like we've done a pretty good job drilling and fracking right now, in lots of locations. The issue is actually reducing, they want to reduce the supply to increase the demand so that it's more expensive because the supply is actually kind of plentiful right now. So they want to create artificial demand. So be on the note for that. Renew the Trump tax cuts. That's tax cuts for billionaires, by the way, which were the largest in history, but will make it even better. He goes, no tax on tips. It will all be made up with tariffs. Magical tariffs are going to make up everything and much more from countries that have been taking advantage of us for years. Republicans must unite and quickly deliver these historic victories. Get smart and tough and send the bill to my desk to sign as soon as possible. Make America great again! Exclamation point. Notice he doesn't talk about tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, or capping credit card interest rates, which, by the way, were all promises. And y'all realize that if he does that, the tariffs are not bringing in that money. Tariffs are a tax. Tariffs are a tax on imports, and are a tax on people here in the United States. So that ain't making up for the $5 to $7 trillion that these tax cuts for billionaires are going to add to our debt. That's why Donald Trump wants in this as well, removing the debt ceiling through 2029 so that he can run up the biggest deficit ever. That's what they're trying to do. Anyway, hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers to get wine. This is wine after wine. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million. Thanks for watching.
Real quick, Meta just changed their algorithm to suppress political content. Please follow our Instagram @MeidasTouch right now as we head towards 400,000 followers so you don't miss a beat.